All right. So we're going to be learning how to create our own characters and also to be able to rig them. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually create a few layers that we're going to be using. So most of the things we're going to be designing will be the vector level that we're going to be using. So first I'm going to click here and create a vector level. So I'm going to this, let's say this, I need to rename that. Okay, let me just go into make sure that that's my vector level. So do that again. New, make sure it's vector here, and we're going to just click on OK, and you can start naming it to whatever you want. We can be able to change these things later. So the first thing I want to be able to do is I'm going to put in the body. And I'm going to get the head. Now, let me just quickly just start adding them one by one. So you can actually add more. Let me click on this. You can just click on apply to add a few more that you can be able to use. So you can be able to do this if you want to, or you can design them one by one. So first, let me start with the body. So I'm going to just click on the body here and design a very simple body. So here I have my body, and I'm going to use um, a rectangle for this. So if you actually have a rectangle, let's say for example here, I'm going to try to bring it to the center. So I have something like this. Now, if you have issues with maybe you don't know where, how to be able to design these things, you can have references that can guide you until you get used to designing things. So, for example, one of the things I like doing, you can just put very simple shapes first. They will guide you very well. So, let's say, for example, I have this shape here, and I'm going to create a new level here. I'm going to call this is going to be my sketch. So this will actually help me. I'm going to just, for now, I'm going to make this guy invisible. So go to my sketch, and I want to design what this character will look like. So I'm just going to do something like this. I'm in my sketch layer now, and I'm going to get the head. In fact, I'm going to be using rectangle for everything so that it's going to just give me a rough plan of what I'm going to design. This will actually give you if you're not someone that is very inclined to artistic stuff, this will actually give you a plan of what you're actually trying to create. So I have this is the main hand that I have here. You could actually make a different color if you want to, or you can just separate it and Control C, Control V. So I'm going to quickly just get this one up a bit to this place. Control C, Control V. I'm going to be using these spaces to show the difference between all of them. Then this one, Control C, Control V, depending on the kind of character I'm actually creating. So you can actually select this and do Control C, Control V if you want to put it by the side here, just for reference purpose. And then we can do Control C, Control V again, and then use this for the leg. So if you look at now, this is giving us an overview of what our character will look like. So now we can be able to see, okay, this is how tall or how short our character is going to actually be. So using this now as a level that is actually at the bottom, and I'm going to actually lock this so I can't select it. So I'm going to go over here. If you look at here, you can lock a layer. So I'm going to lock this. So that even if I want to select it, I can actually select it. So now let me turn on my body now. And this time around, I'm going to start working on it. So I can just select this body and I'm going to drop this here and pull this over to somewhere there. So now I want this body to be a bit different. I don't like the color, so you can begin to change the color to whatever you want it to be. So let's say, for example, we want this color to be a bit different. Let's say blue color, and at the top here. So I can use this tool here to design what this part. Now I just noticed something. I have black linings here and I don't really need that, so I'm going to delete this. So go over here and you see my line is over here. So I have my auto fill and make sure that I'm just using only this, and I can just draw this only. So I don't want to have any line, so make sure you don't have any line. So over here I can just pull this one up like this and this one up like that. Now depending on the kind of design you are doing, you can actually do things like this. If you want this character to be facing a particular position, so you can start giving it some kind of design. So I can put this to somewhere here, and this thing can actually be here. So we have different perspectives. There are characters you draw and they're actually facing you directly, but this one want it to be able to walk, so we'll need to actually make it to be something like this. So what this sketch I did is doing for me is that it's giving me a plan of what I'm actually doing. So I'm going to get another one. I'm going to get this will be a new color style I'm going to be using. Is going to be a darker part. So I'm going to let me make sure that that's more of a blue color, and I'm going to just put this here. So this I'm putting here is just going to be like the waist side of the character. So select this again and I'm going to just put this here. This is just an extension I'm going to still use to add another one that would be down here. So later I'm going to be doing that. So this is just an extension of the waist, but they're still going to be part of the body itself. Then for the legs, I'm just going to do the legs. You can actually start from the head if you want to, but I like doing this part to get everything I want. So it all depends on what you're trying to achieve. So I'm going to get this my rectangle now, and I'm going to put this down here. So now for me to put the leg, I'm going to use another one. Let me go over here to the body, and I'm going to create a new level. I'm going to use these ones later. It is my head. I'm going to select this, create a new one. So over here I can be able to actually add this one. So if you actually start drawing over this, so you see the color here, so I want to be able to pick up this color. So I will select this, and I want to pick up exactly this color. So I can use this and pick up that color, and I'm going to use this color to draw something just here. So this thing I have here now, first I'm going to be drawing the short version of it like this. I will be the main part of the leg like this, and I'm going to be curving here so that it actually smoothly enters into this part of the body. And then I'm going to duplicate this, so I'm going to duplicate this. Let me make sure that everything is actually working fine there. This is actually a time-consuming thing that you'll be doing, so I can leave this one like this because I'm going to be drawing something else. Remember, we are working here. This is the lap that we're actually working on, so I can just bring this to this level here. Ctrl C, Ctrl V on this. This one can remain flat here, and I'm going to make here to become curved. Okay, so I have something that looks like this. So if you want this part to be a different color, let's say for example here, we want here to be a bit a different color, so we can be able to create something here, and let's change this color now to something different. So we'll have something that looks more like the skin. So I want to be able to paint this, so I can just simply just draw something here, and now I'm going to select this one, and I will use this to actually pick up that color. I think I have to redraw that particular part. Let me just redraw it. So selecting this particular one, I'm going to redraw this part. Just redraw it now, but I actually need that thing to be under the other one, so I'm going to select this one, and you can be able to actually press Ctrl X and Ctrl V. Now this one is actually under it, so I just cut it and paste it back. So if you see, if you go under it, it's actually under it now. So it's just to create the illusion of that is actually inside, like this part of the leg, something like this. That's what we're actually trying to create. So just focus on doing the first one very well, and the other ones will actually fall into place. So now we can be able to select these parts and just pull this out like this. So now we can be able to select these two, and we can scale them down to this level like that. So if you look at now, this our thing is now helping us very well. So one of the things I could do is just simply to select this one. I'll press Ctrl C to copy it. Now I can be able to create a new level. Now I want this level to actually be to actually be on top of this one. So it's going to be on top of this particular one because I want the leg to be able to rotate on the next one that is here. So I'm going to just do just select that lap, and I'm going to create another one that this would be my leg. That's the next thing. So now I'm selecting my leg. I'm going to just press Ctrl V to paste it. Let me see. Okay, yes, pasted. So I just duplicated, I just Ctrl C and brought it up here. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to use this again, my contour, this tool here, that's the control point editor, and I'm going to make this one to be curved too. I'm going to be doing something. So if you want this to, you can actually use circles to actually put this, but I like using this particular thing here. So the main thing you are trying to achieve is this. Let me just bring this to this point, and then the reason why we're doing this is we want, whenever we begin to animate, let's say for example we begin to rotate this particular thing. Let me change this and show you exactly the purpose here, so you actually understand what we are going for. If the center of origin is somewhere here, look at the center of origin that is here. If it's somewhere here, we want to be able to use our rotation to rotate this leg and have it, see, it's not in the right place, so we have to bring it down. Let's bring it down a bit here. So we want to be able to easily rotate this leg and have it act as if it's one part with this particular one that is here. That's what we're actually trying to do. So in case you don't understand what the goal of what we're doing is, so that's what we're actually trying to achieve. So you can just push this down a bit, and this one also, I think we might need to actually straighten this one in the lap a bit more. So we'll have this. So I'm going to go back to my leg and select the leg. Now one of the things I like doing is I like, whenever I'm working on these characters, for the leg itself, I will begin to actually sort of make it to actually begin to come down a bit like that. So I'm going to click and drag this down like that. So something like this. So now we'll have something like this. Once you actually get the center of origin properly, it's going to actually align properly. We can actually go on to scale it even to become smaller. Make sure in your leg when you are doing this, so we'll have something like this. I'm seeing some jagged edges that I don't like, so I'm going to try to make them a bit more straight. Then the next thing is the foot. So I'm going to create a new one here, and this will be the foot. So for the foot, I'm going to still use similar thing. So for this foot, I think I would like it to be a different color. Let me see, a black color. I'm going to use a black color. So I'm going to use a rectangle this time around, and I'm going to just draw a shape like that. Once you get confused, you can simply go over here and make this guy invisible here, and you can actually see, the things that you are working on. So now I can just go back to my foot, select my foot, and I can be able to do something like this. Okay, so this is what we have right now. So we'll save our work. Let's now go back to the head. So we'll have the head here, and we also have the neck. That's another thing we're going to be having. So all of them will actually be above the body. So we'll have the body over here. So I think I might need to delete all this so that it's going to be easy for us to be creating. So just select all of them and delete these columns. So let me just start from here. So I have this, my body. I want the head to be somewhere above it. Okay, so, and the neck also. So I'm going to start with the neck first. So I'm going to create this. So I'm going to call this the neck. And for the neck, I'm going to, let me open up my reference, my guide. So go to the neck. And for the neck, I want it to also be a rectangle. Let me just make sure I'm selecting my rectangle. You can actually do it outside, so you actually see what you're doing. So this rectangle is meant to, have a particular color. So I want it to be this particular color. So I can just go ahead to pick up that color now. So let me see. I pick up the color. So that color has changed here. And then select this, and I can be able to just draw this like that. So if you look at what is happening now, I have this thing appearing at the top of this body. So you can actually use it there. So what I could do is I'm going to just come in here and select here and just pull this down like that. Now, if you think this thing will actually show, because I think I just noticed something now. Let me just do this here. Now, one of the things you're going to be checking is if in the future you want to rotate this neck. Let's say, for example, we want to be able to select this rotation, and let me center it first. Let me see. My center is somewhere here at the base point. Okay, so let's say we are rotating this. Let's see how it's going to rotate. So we'll have something like this. Can you see what's happening here? So if this is going to be an issue for us later, we might have to put this at the back of the body. So I think I'm going to put this at the back of the body and then figure out something else I'm going to use. So what I'm going to do now is, let me see. I think I might need to cut this column out and paste it just below the body. I'll say insert, right click here, insert below, sorry, not insert below, paste, insert below. So I just pasted it in below it, so whenever I'm moving, it's not going to be showing, so you can actually push it behind. Now the problem now you are facing now is, what about your the neck, showing that is actually the neck? So what you could do here is that you will have to select the body. So these are technical problems you could face. So if I select the body, I can just go over here and create, let's say, for example, I can create a polyline and draw something to signify the neck. But let me even do it this way. I think I would like to do it this way. this part has been selected already, so just select my circle and I'm going to create a new thing. I'm actually in my body right now. I'm trying to make room for this my neck, so I will select this part and use this tool here to select the color of the neck, which is this one here. And now I'm going to go over to my circle here and I'm going to try to change this to my circle, and I'm selecting this. I'm going to draw a circle somewhere here. Just select this and I'm going to just drop this. Remember that what I'm doing right now is actually on top of the body. It's not actually on the neck. The neck itself is not different. So if you see what I'm doing here, you can have something like this. If you look at what I'm doing now, so you actually have something like this, and the neck itself, it is actually at the back. So if you select the neck now and begin to rotate it, you actually see that it's not showing. You know, once you push it down enough, once I push it down, once you push it down, it's not going to, you know, show. That's the whole idea of what we're trying to do. So that's why we actually create this. So you can actually select that and just work that on the body. If you want to create more style on the body, you can actually do that. So I'm just going to just scale this out like that, you know, to signify the neck. I would like to also add some other few things, like just create I'm going to use a pen to a polyline and draw a line from here. This line, I'm just going to increase the size here. Click here. Before I do that, let me create some mention on my body, and this one would be, let's say, a white color. I'm going to just click and then click here, and click here and press enter key. Alright, so we'll have something like this. So what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to create a very nice looking color. So you can create something like that. So you have that. Now mind you, I'm just drawing one side of the drawing. I've not drawn the other parts. So you have something like this. You can use the arrow key to try to move down. So let's see how it looks. So we have something that looks like that. Over here, I will quickly try to modify this part so that it looks a bit more interesting, like that. Okay, so now let's go into the other parts, which is actually the head. So let's go to the head. So now I'm going to go to the above. This is the neck here. So the neck itself, we have to decide, okay, which one is going to be on top. I think I would like the head to be above the neck. So you'll be the one to decide all these things on your own. Mostly this arrangement I'm using is better. So I have my head just below the body here, but above the neck. So now I can be able to select my head, and I will do a very simple head. So the head I'm going to be using is I'm going to start with a circle, and I'm going to just draw a circle. But first, let me change my color. Select this one and select this color. That's the color I want to use. Then select that, and I'm going to just draw my circle. So I have something that looks like this. So you can be able to select it and you can scale it this way down, like that. So this reference is giving me a lot of help, because right now I know exactly what I'm actually aiming for. So I can go over here. I want the hair. So if I want the hair to be black, I can actually go for black. And depending on the kind of hair I want to create, let me just create a very simple kind of hair. So first I'm going to change this to a rectangle and just draw something like this. Okay, now I can turn off my reference, my sketch, because my design is taking shape and it's becoming more easier for me to understand. In fact, there are people who actually use sketch some references and then use that reference to actually guide whatever they are doing. So I can come in here and just take this one up, select, make sure you are in your head layer, and like to pull this one up and pull this one a bit back, this one like that. So we can use this one and just scale it down like that, so we'll have something that looks like this. So other things we could do is we can use I would like to use my circles to do some very stylish kind of design around it. So this all depends on what you're actually aiming for. Okay, so we'll have something like this. And I also want to be able to create this example, so I can just do something like right click. Let me do that again. I'm going to right click on this. I'm going to copy this color and I'm going to paste it here. So I'm just pasting it so that I can be able to make it a bit different. I want to have a different color, something a bit lighter that I'm going to use for something. So what I'm trying to use it for is I'm going to be creating something once I'm done here. So let me just go back to this color here, select this one and just pull it up a bit like that. This one, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and I have let's say for example let me just put this part here, or something like that. Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and I'm just going to make this edge to be a bit more curvy like that. Then for the ear, I'm going to create this. So that's where I'm going to use this normal color here, but I'm going to be using a different color at this point here. Let me use the normal color here. So I'm just going to draw a sort of ear there. So this is the ear. Let's do that. Okay, so we'll have something like this. And then I'll use this lighter one I just created and draw the inner part of the ear. Sorry, make sure you're not selecting it when you're doing that. So select this one and just change the color, and then go to your circle and we're going to draw an inner ear. So it's just a way of being able to make it look a bit different and stylish. So we'll have something, or you can actually make it a bit brighter depending on what you're actually going for. So I think this will actually be okay. Let me use this here. Okay, so we'll have these here now. So this is just a bunch of shapes that I've actually used. Then for the eye, you can actually go for very simple shapes. So we can just go in, create a new one. Let's use the eye. First, let's start with the eyebrows. So I can actually use a very simple rectangle and then curve it a bit. So my side, this thing is actually turned on, so I'm just going to remove it. So I have something like this. You can actually use this to actually curve it. If you intend to animate the eyes, you will need to make the eye to be different. Like it should be on its own layer. All right. If you need to animate the eyes, to have some kind of movement in it. So we're not actually going for that now. So just focus on doing just one side only. Don't try to do everything all at once. So I'm going to change this to a circle, and I can just put a very simple eye there. So I have something like this. Then for the nose, I can use a bigger sort of circle there. For the mouth, so this one I think I'll be using this particular shape, this color here. As this one, this is what I'm going to be using. So let me delete this one and just select this. Make sure I'm selecting the dark one and just draw that. So let's just make it a bit different and just something like that. Then for the mouth, these things can actually take on their own layers, okay? So but for now we're not focused on mouth animation, so we don't really need that for now. So for this mouth, I think I'll be using something a bit like say just close to a different kind of color. Just do something like that. So we'll have something that looks like this. So this is what you're going to be seeing, just a very simple character like this. And I think we'll still need to do something at this back here, so we'll still come back to that one. So I'm going to come in here and select these two, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and just drop this to somewhere here. So we'll have the two eyes. So we'll have this here. You can select this to just make it a bit different. Then let me go to the body and balance up the body a bit more, like that. Okay, so now let's go for the hands. So we haven't designed the hands yet. So let's go for the hands. Now I need to actually add something here that will assist me in whatever I'm doing. So I need to push this back a bit so that I have a balance in this body that I have here. So my hand is going to be somewhere here at this spot, because the left one will actually be somewhere here at this spot. So now I'm going to just come in here and it's going to be above the body. That's one thing we know. So I'm going to select the top of the body here, because right now I'm just doing the right side. Okay, this is the right side because it's actually facing this way, so the right side will be at the top. So I'll go to the top of this body here and I'm going to create a new level. Now if you want to make things easy for yourself, you can just go down to your lap. I'm going to select this lap here, these two guys. You can actually group them and make them to be one, but I don't think I need that. Select with your selection tool, 1 and 2, hold shift, select that, Ctrl C. Now let me go back to where I have I'm going to call this my shoulder. So on this shoulder, I'm going to just paste. So once you paste, you can just bring it up to this place. So this saves me a lot of things, like a lot of work that I would have been doing. So but I still need to do something here. Let me see. I need to actually go over here and change this color. So I need to actually change this particular color. Hope it doesn't affect the sorry. Okay, it does it there. So we select this one now that controls this color here and use this to pick up the color of the shoulder. So we'll have something like this. It actually blends in with it. So if you want it to be the same color, you can actually use that. So why we are using that is so that we can have something like this. So we'll have this part of the body just over here, and this one just by the side here, and it's also under it. So whenever you're swinging your hand, it's not going to actually go out of alignment, It's not going to look like it's a different part of the body. It's going to actually blend in with the body. That's what you're actually trying to create. So I'm going to scale this down and have this, be part of this one here. Which part of the thing has this guy here? I don't even know who owns this guy. Let me go and delete him. I need to find okay, the lap is what owns this. I'm going to delete this. I don't want this any longer. Okay, so shoulder. Okay, so this is here now. So let me go on to turn on this place to actually know what I'm missing. Okay, if you look at now from my reference, you see that my shoulder is actually too big. So that's the good part about having a reference that will guide you. So I'm going to just go back to my shoulder here. I just turned on my reference to select this guy here and push it a bit back to this part here. So I have something that looks like this. Okay, so we'll have that, and we can go on to create the next one, which will be the hand. So click here. So this one will be the hand. So the hand will be another distance. So I can just go and select this one. The leg will also be my fastest solution to it. So I can just select this leg, Ctrl C, go back to my hand and just paste it there. Select, click on it, paste, and I have something like this. So you can be able to just come up to this point here. And lastly, I would like to put up this. Okay, I'm seeing a little issue there, but we're going to resolve it soon enough. So for the hand, I'm going to for the palm, sorry. So I'm going to select another one. This will be on top of it. First, before we even do that, let's make sure that this is actually turned on properly. Yep, it's okay. Let's bring this to this point and bring this one here. Now I'll quickly just turn off this my lap so that I can be able to see what I'm doing, so that we can come back and arrange this. So I have this length that I'm actually aiming for, and then I can scale this down a bit more. Message from WhatsApp. So once I put that, I can go for the hand and just click here and add a new one. This one will now be the palm. So the palm, I'm going to just make it a very simple shape. So I'm just going to be using a circle this time around. So you could actually do the same thing. Just go to your, we're just going to pick up the color. So just use this, pick up that color, and just select this, and I'm going to be using a round shape. So you can actually use a real shape, like something a bit more organic. You can do that. So but for this one, I'm going to just be using something like this, and I'll be using this to just do something like that, just to curve the hand to look more like a hand, something like that. You can actually go more in details to actually do all these things. So we'll have our hands designed. Where is this one coming from? Okay, so we'll have the hand, the palm, sorry, the palm. So that's the palm there. Okay, so we'll have this. So I'm going to save this. Now, if you look at what is happening, our leg, our lap here, we're going to actually look at our arrangement so that we make sure that our arrangement is not having some issues. So if you look at here, the arrangement for this means that we have to actually make sure that this lap and this leg should be under this palm, okay, but it should still be above the body. So we have to select this leg, foot, one, hold shift, select this and select this, okay, and we're going to right click on it and we're going to actually cut those columns, and it might scatter a bit, so we'll click on the body, right click on the body, and now say paste insert above. So right now it's back to the place it was. It's still above the body, but it's actually under the hand. So let me just take this up so you actually see the arrangement. So this could actually help you plan out whatever you're doing. So if you look at here, we'll have the neck at the bottom here. So we'll have this and the body and then the lap. So now let's go to arranging this part so that we can be able to draw the left part of this body. So to do that, to make this easy for us, we're going to rename some few things. I'm going to do palm.r for this. I'm going to do here palm dot or hand.r, meaning right.r, foot.r. So we're renaming now .r. So we'll have this now. So now this would be all for the right parts of the body, which is actually this, because the character is actually facing this area, okay. So we can actually change the shape and the way it's looking so that it actually looks more like it's looking to that side, but this is still cool for now. So now I will just before I actually do that, let me just work on this a bit, which is actually the hand. I think the hand is a bit looking somehow funny, so let me just push it down a bit like that. And then for the palm, let's select it and push it down a bit like this. So let's see what it looks like. And this one at the top here, I always like to test my designs before I actually use them to be sure that they're actually working properly. We'll have something like that. So I think I will need to select this. Let me see if I can select all of them at once and use this. Okay, you have to select one at a time. The shoulder itself, let me select both of them, this one and this one. Right click and group it. Let's bring it down a bit like this. Select the hand, bring it down a bit like this. Select the palm. So we're just doing fine tuning, so you will take time to actually make your own look better. I don't want the class to actually become too long, so I'm just going to just stop here. So now I've finished renaming, so I'm going to select all this. So everything here, if you look at everything I've done, I will right click on it and I will just say copy column. So now I've copied the column. I will have to go down. So I want this thing I'm going to put now to be behind this body. It's going to be at the back of this body here. So I'm going to just select the head now. Okay, you can, in fact, you can select the body, right click and say paste insert below. It will actually paste all those things you actually have below this particular place. So let's see, when you paste it now, you won't be able to see it very well. So what you need to do, let's go turn off this body. All right, in fact, we're going to turn off everything here at the top here. So once you do that, you see that what you are now seeing is the one, that's one you just added now. So let's just make sure we actually have the right thing. So this we can now go over here and say palm.l dot l dot l dot l. I'm renaming right now after duplicating dot l dot l. Okay, so we'll have this. So it doesn't really matter if it's above the head because it's not going to be coming around. But I think we might also need to put it below the head, because imagine if the hand goes above this place. So I think we need to really put it at below everything. So let me just move it again. Select all of it like this, right click, and I'm going to cut it one more time and make sure I'm under the neck, and right click and say paste below the neck. So these arrangements I will prescribe for anybody that wants to do this to use. So for the palm now, I can just be able to select all of them now. See what I'm going to do? Select, hold shift and select all of them like this, and going to actually move them now. So let me see. I don't want to actually move the thing based on animation, so I think I have to do it one by one so it's easy for me to work with. So let's start with the hand. Let's start with the shoulder first. So the shoulder, I'm going to move it to somewhere here, and then go to the hand, move it to somewhere there, then go to the palm, move it just over there, do the same thing with the lap, sorry, and put it just there. I think I need to group this, the upper part and the lower part of the lap. So just select it and just put it there, and then also select the leg, do the same thing to it. You can just bring it down. I think I would like it to be on the same thing. And then for the foot, also do the same thing. Okay, so once we're done with this, we can be able to just turn off this our reference completely, so we don't really need it, and then we can go up here and then begin to turn on these guys back again. Oh, I think there is a little problem that I'm witnessing here now, which is actually seems like all of them are linked somehow. Let's separate. What is happening? So once you encounter this kind of problem, this not normal for other 2D animation software. If you're using something like After Effects, it's not going to be doing this. So what you need to do is that you need to know is that the thing is actually animated. That's by default, that's what it's actually doing. So for you to be able to make it work, so what we're going to do is right now everything is in the left side where we want it to be in the left side. So I'm just going to go over here to my animate tool, and I will go to my shoulder here. If I'm going to try to select all this, and okay, let me start first by aligning the center. So we have the center here. So it's necessary to do this now, because if you don't, it's going to cause some problems later. So I will just align this, the hand and this one. So I'm going to just align this to the center. So we have the shoulder, the palm also. So this is the center of origin, where what determines how it rotates. So once I do that, I'm going to use my position and just start moving the shoulder. I'm going to move the shoulder to this place. And then for the hand, I'm going to move the hand to this place. And then this one here. For the palm, I'm going to move it out to this place. Let me see. and also at the same time, okay, these ones are at the back right now. Look at where they are now. So let's turn off the body and you see the other ones at the back here. So we need to also select these ones. This other left side is getting a bit complicated, but just follow. So if I get to this, let me do the same thing for the leg. So for the leg, I will just go to the right side of the leg. So I'll start with the lap. I'll say the lap. Change this to your position, and I'm going to move the position to somewhere here so we can be able to align them properly. The leg to move it, and the foot move it too. So we'll have something that looks like this. So if you actually select this, we need to also, let me bring out the body now. So look at what's happening here. So it's not looking nice. So we need to now start balancing it so that we actually see exactly what we are doing. So the lap, let's make sure that it's in the right place. The leg. So you just have to do all these things now so that later when you begin to do other things, everything will actually fall into place. So we'll have that there. So then we have the other part, which is the left side. So for the shoulder on the left side, I'm going to still select it and move it out. Look at here. We can actually move it out to this point. And then for the hand, we can actually move it out to this point. But let me move it out even more to this point. Let me move them out more so that you can actually see them properly. And then for the palm, we can actually move this to this point like that. Then for the left, if you look at the left part of this leg, I think this left should be above, because the other part is actually is the last thing you're going to see, from here. So I'll have to select this, both the lap, the leg, and the foot. I will right click on it, and I think I also have to cut it again and go over to at the top of this, my palm, right click, and just insert above it. Sorry, paste insert above. So right now I have this side now. So this is what I actually have. So now I can just make sure that everything is working fine. So I think everything is okay now. It looks nice. So we just have to arrange this. So first we want to go into rigging now. So we're going to quickly rig this character in preparation for next class where we're going to animate it. So to rig this character now, the first step to rigging is that we're going to make sure that the center of origins are properly aligned. Okay, center of origin is what determines how it rotates. So I'm going to start first from the let me start from the top one, the palm here. So make sure you just go to the center of origin, and center of origin is this thing here. So look here. So this is what determines when you're rotating the hand. Let's say for example you want to rotate the hand, it's going to be the center. Okay, and then we also do the same thing for the hand. So if you look at here, the hand is in that point, so you can actually take it up more if you want to, depending on what you're actually looking for. But I also want to move my hand to be a bit more balanced with this one that I have here. Then go over to my shoulder. So the shoulder is already somewhere here, and I think I need to bring it down more to this position here. Just make sure it's actually okay. And then the center of origin, the center point here, should be somewhere there. So if I try rotating, so look at what we're going to be seeing. So if you look at something like this, if you're having this kind of issue, you can actually resolve it by using some other kind of technique, but this is what we have. So I think I will need to also change this. So you have to actually go on to get the particular kind of center points that will hide. If you look at here, this one is actually okay. It will actually hide the flaws very much for me. So I have this now, and the same thing, let me go down to my right foot. So the right foot is still at the top here, so I'll have to use my center of origin, drag this to the bottom here, and then the leg too. So whenever you're doing this, make sure you actually test it so that you don't make mistakes later. So if you look at here, this looks good for us. Then go for the lap, center of origin, bring it to this point. So this one will be a bit tricky, so we'll have to figure out the best way. Okay, I think it's actually cool. We'll have something like this and it's blending in properly. I think this is actually okay. So we'll have something like that. So make sure you're doing this in the first frame. All these things, fix them in the first frame so that you don't have issues later. If you do it in another frame, in fact, if you actually do the next frame, everything disappears. Go to the body. And for the body, I would like the center of origin to be somewhere at this spot here, so that we can be able to, use it to, move or, do some other kind of action. And I think I also need to scale down this body a bit. So I'll select it and select this shoulder things I actually added to it. Let me make sure that I selected all of them. Click and drag over them. And let me go back. Click, drag over them. Right click and group them to become one, so that they operate as one, so that whenever I'm selecting and I'm scaling, everything is actually working as one. So I can actually have something like this. So I have that. Then let's go to the head. For the head, I'm going to make sure that the center here is also just below the head here. So except you want to actually animate the head, normally people just use only the neck to animate. So I can just select the neck and make sure the center is somewhere at the back here. All right, so when you actually begin to rotate the neck, you actually see that it's going to be doing something like this. So on the head too, the same thing. So I think we need to also bring it down a bit more. I'm going to bring it somewhere here and take this head. Let's select the entire head and group them to become one for the meantime, so that we can select all of them and push them down like this. So that if we actually select the center and put it here, we can actually have effects like this. So if you have something like this, okay, so I think this is okay. Now let's go for next one. The foot at the bottom here, change this to your center, and the foot here is this one at the bottom here, so we can just put this here. And I think we need to get the position and bring it down a bit more to this position here. Get the leg also, same thing. This leg, we need to get the center first, put it somewhere here. I think I need to select this leg and let's pull it down like this. Oh, they're actually together, so we just have to animate it because it's actually mirroring. So let's use the animation so that they will be different. So I'm going to use animation to pull it down to this point. Then go for the lap, change this to center. So if you're having this issue and you're confused, you can actually go on to draw everything manually, so that everything will be separate. But if you duplicate, you see the kind of uh, experience you might have where you are trying to scale something here is happening over there. So probably that's something, a technical problem that you might face. So you can try to avoid that by not using that technique. So I'm going to select this, make sure that I select this in this view, hold this, both of them are already selected, they're already grouped. So let me just select this and move it to the top like this, and select the leg, position too, make sure that the position is actually okay. So we'll have something that looks like this. Then lastly, the palm here, do the same thing. Center should be over here, and then the hand should be over here. Let's get this position, so you can push it back a bit more like this. And then for the shoulder, which is the last thing there, we'll still use the center here and push this to the center here at this point, and we're going to use the position. So remember, because I duplicated this, I'm using the position to actually position this thing. Normally I would have used this selection tool to scale it down, but right now, because of the way this thing is designed, I'm going to be using that. So if you look at here, I can select this, and I think I need to also push this one back a bit more like that, and the palm, I want to push it back a bit more like that. So they're just there. So you can test this to make sure that it's actually rotating in a way that is good. So also test the shoulder too, and I think the shoulder is actually going very fine. Okay, so let's save our work. So we have done the heavy lifting. This work prepares, changing the center points, okay, and then that's the key thing that you actually want to do whenever you are rigging. So the last part of the rigging part, which is actually what will prepare this for the animation, after you have aligned this thing properly, the next thing you now want to do is to just go on to, you can go to your animation here, and you see all the things that you actually have. Look at your table and all these things that you have actually added. So right now I think I'll have to go back to my drawing and remove this sketch. I'm going to delete it. So I'll delete this column, so I don't need it any longer here. So now I have deleted it. Let me just go on to add my entire rig to the way it's supposed to be. So the rigging is now, I want whenever I move the shoulder, the other parts of this hand should move with it. If I move the body should actually move with it. Okay, so that's the thing. It's a very simple process. So the easiest place to do that is don't use the set schematics. Don't use this one. Okay, it's not the one you're going to be using. The one you should use is in animation here. If you come up here, let me just bring this up like this. So I'm going to bring this to this side. So now I need to have, first, let me get, the first thing I'm going to get is my body. My body is the thing that will be controlling everything, and then the head will be somewhere there. Sorry, I think the body will control the neck, while the neck will control the body. So it's going to be something like this. Then we're going to have the lap, and then the leg, and then the foot, like that. And then we're going to have the shoulder, the hand, and then the palm will be the last part. And then also we're going to do the foot will be out here, the leg will be the next thing, the lap will be the first thing here. So we're going to connect distance, lap at the end, hand in the center, shoulder in this place. So let's now connect. So when I say, okay, this body controls this neck, controls this lap. It also controls the shoulder. So whenever you move it, is what will be moving. It will be moving these exact ones, and also the lap here, and also the shoulder. All right. Then the shoulder should control the hand. So if you see now, when I do this, look at what's happened. This scatters. All right. So once it happens, just make sure you go back to readjust whatever you actually have there. So in fact, you can even leave it. Let's just finish up. We'll put this one to the palm, so it's going to do that. So we can just come in here and also do the same for lap. Just then for this, then we already have for the neck. The neck will control the head, and then go for the lap. The lap will control the leg, and the leg will control the foot. Then the shoulder will control the hand, and then the hand will control the palm. So we have this. So this is how this is meant to be designed. So this means that if I select the neck now, let me go back here now. If I select the neck and move, the head will move with it. Okay. If I select the body and move, everything goes with it. So now let's just go ahead to adjust this particular foot properly. So we'll have the right foot. Let's start with the right foot here. So if you look at here, if you actually use this, let me see if that will work for us. It's going to be tampering with this one already because it's like they're mirrored. So we'll have this here. I'm going to just use this, the position, and just position this to this point. I think this should be over here. The leg should be here. Sorry, I think I need to be doing the other way around. So this is okay, like this. The leg, bring it down a bit to this point. Then for the hands and the shoulder on the right side, so I think I'll start from the hand. The hand controls the palm, so I'm going to start from the hand. And then for the palm, I'm going to just drop this to this place. Then coming to the left side, the thing that is out of alignment is these hands. So I will start with the shoulder. Let me make sure the shoulder is actually okay. Okay, the shoulder is good. The hand itself went out of alignment a bit, and then the palm just went out of alignment. So that's all you need to do for rigging. So let's test our rig and see if it's actually working. So let me save, change this to rotation. So if I select something like the leg now, I can be able to, let me use the lap rather. I can do something like this, and I can be able to go for my leg, and I can be able to do something like this. If you look at what is happening now, so we can be able to animate this to whatever we want it to be. We can select this part of the hand. Let's say, for example, want to do a walk cycle, so we can be able to do that. We'll have the lap, and then the left one. So we'll have something like this. I think we need to actually adjust this one. Get a lap for this one, so we'll have something like this. So we'll have something like this. So if you see here, and then we can push this one to something like this. So just this what you can be able to create. Then for the hand itself, we are testing our rig to be sure that they're actually looking nice, so we can be able to do something like this. Okay, look at here, we'll have some things being misplaced, so we can still be able to get the hand, use the position it properly like that, so you can actually rotate it to however you want it to be. So just something like that, we can be able to do that. So that's just basically how to parent other rig your character and be able to work with it. So in the next class, we're going to do animations with this particular character and be able to actually add some other features that will make it look interesting. So that's all we have for today.